Hi YouTube, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. As you can see by the title, I know it's going to ruffle some feathers, but people are going to read that title and probably try to read me for filth before they even watch my video. But it comes with the territory, so let's try to delve into this. So of late, I have been seeing a lot on YouTube, maybe even Facebook too, because I belong to um, a site about mature relationships, about no mature conversations about relationships. And so one of the things that I see a lot of, well, black women wouldn't have to be masculine if black men stepped up to the plate of responsibility. Another thing that I see is I will be feminine for the right man, a man who knows how to lead. And so since I know I'm going to forget that, the point that I want to make about that, I'm going to start with that. That's a lie, because the very fact that you even have to say that lets me know that you're going to pick and choose who to be feminine for. And what a lot of those women really mean by when they say that is if that man is whoever is in her mind as her fantasy husband, 6'6", six pack, six figures salary, six figures in the bank, then she will be feminine and let that man lead. And it goes so much deeper than that. So I would say to the men, stay clear of women who have a condition on when to be feminine or not, because you're gonna have an issue with her. So let's talk about the black women who say, well, we have to be masculine because these men ain't stepping up to the plate. Let me tell y'all where that really started. First of all, the men ain't stepping up to the plate. That is a symptom of a much larger um, problem. And I, like a lot of black people here in America, was raised by a single mother. And in a lot of cases, a baby mama never married mother. And now that wasn't my mother's situation. My mother was a divorced mother, a divorced, she had me out of wedlock, which I've said that before. And then she met and married my father my stepfather, when I was 1 years old. And he was in our lives until I was 7. Well, he remained in my brother's lives till the end of his life, and he's been gone for 10 years. So going off on a quick tangent, this is why I tell women it is important that you be married before you have children with these men, because even if you get a divorce, it's a high probability he is going to stay there for the rest of his life. And matter of fact, which is ironic now, but my mother used to tell me back when I was a teen, be careful who you have children with, because that man will be a part of your life forever. But going off on a tangent, that's all besides the point. So let's get into the topic. So the topic today, black women stating that they have to be masculine because black men are not stepping up to the plate. And let me tell you where this started. It started in the homes that we grew up in. And if the statistics are true, and I believe that they are, between 70 and 80% of black households are run by a single parent, typically a single mother. And I think for a lot of us as women, we had to be more independent and strong or whatever earlier than we should have been. When we should have just been happy go lucky little girls just running around because mommy and daddy were taking care of the house. But you find in a lot of black single mother run homes across the country, and y'all can agree or disagree, but I know too many people raised by single mothers who all have the same or similar um, opinion of what it was like to be raised by a single mother. And a lot of times when you are the eldest, girl or the eldest period, because it could be a boy too, but that's where you get the son husband from. And I've already done a video on that. I still might kind of touch it here too. But when you are the oldest girl, you oftentimes have a lot of responsibilities placed onto you because your mother, she needs help. Be it, if you have younger siblings that you have to watch, keeping the house clean. Well, okay, I get it. You would do that even if you had a dad in the house. But when I say oftentimes responsibilities are placed onto you that should not be onto you, a lot of times when you are the product of a single mother, and a lot of people can vouch on this, your credit is messed up before you're even old enough to have credit, because your mother, and I've heard mothers doing this, messing up their children's credit. The little boy is 4 years old and his social security is already messed up because mama put the lights in his name or the whatever in his name. I've actually heard of stories like this. You might be also having to help with paying a mortgage and things like that. A lot of us had, and I don't want to go into like detail because every household is different or whatever, but it still kind of comes down to the same thing, being more responsible than you have to be. And I didn't really want to talk about this one tragedy. We've all heard of the 35-year-old um, young lady that just lost her life in a hospital. She was giving birth to her 12th child, and her 19-year-old, I think it's a boy, he's 19 years old and already has the responsibility of a parent almost, to care for his 11 siblings. And here's the thing, that 35-year-old that just lost her life, she was a grandmother of two. So as much as so many black women want to talk about how being a single mother and a baby mama is like the greatest thing, and we're strong and we're this and we're that or whatever, you're not strong because most times you have someone other than a husband that is helping you out with your children or the household. Or you have your kids you have your oldest kid watching your youngest kid so you can go to the club and meet another piece of trash man to lay up with and possibly have another child with. So when I hear these women talking about how they have to be responsible, no, how they have to be masculine because the men just aren't pulling their weight, we have to consider where all of us, all of the homes that we grew up in. Now, some of us, as we started getting older, started like observing, like I did. I was at least 14 when I realized, wait, something is not right. It's supposed to be a husband in the house. It's supposed to be a daddy in the house for us. I knew that at 14, you know? So I really don't know why so many in our community decides to repeat the cycle of what their mothers did. You saw your mother struggle. You saw her, have breakdowns and stuff like that. Why would you repeat what your mother did? So going back to the gist of this video, Black women oftentimes learn to be so-called masculine from home first. That's long before she's even dating any men out here. But it's exacerbated, did I say that right? Because those same men are raised by single mothers as well. And I want to talk about this myth out here that Black men are just all these deadbeats and stuff, like deadbeat dads and stuff. That's a lie. And if the statistics are true, it's 16% of the Black male community who are the ones that these women are choosing to lay up with and have their children with. 30 something percent of Black men are married. Then that leaves like 50 something percent of men who don't have children and who are not married. So There was a point that I was going to try to make about that. But the bottom line is a lot of us are simply products of the home that we grew up in. But Black women do not have to take on the masculine mantle if they don't want to. Oh, and it was one point that I wanted to make, and it kind of ties into what I'm talking about. I have a cousin who she's younger than I am, and she's been married for almost 30 years. She's been married about 26 years. So, so that's almost 30 years. And she's younger than I am. She went from her daddy's house, her mommy and her daddy's house, to a husband's house. And she barely had to work when she was living at home with her parents. And then when she got married and then moved into her husband's home, she didn't have to work. I think in all these 26 years, she's just been a stay-at-home wife and mother rearing their children. And that's technically how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to go from your mom and dad's house into a husband's house. That's a, so when you think about how things are going in our communities now, a lot of the Black women who are out here mad at Black men, mad at the situation that they got themselves into, it really started at home with their mother, because their mother placed responsibilities on them, again, that should not have been placed on to them. So I know I missed some points that I wanted to make, but that's my topic for today. If you made it this far, and I hope you did, please like, subscribe, share, and I will talk to you later. Bye.